Hello, welcome to your evening briefing. I'm Aiden Kinsella. This is Good Idea. Today on Good Idea, we're going to be discussing all of the serious and very dangerous threats that are posed to us as a society today, starting out with Gandhi's nuclear rampage. That's right, Gandhi has gone AWOL. He has threatened my country with nukes. He's threatened every other country with nukes. He has told me that if I don't stop doing this, he will nuke me. And I have to keep doing this because I have a radio show and I can't do visual cuts. So, and you might ask me, like, what am I even cutting to? Sorry, hold on, gotta do that again. What am I even cutting to? The next thing I say, because all the things that I say are important and different, even though they're the same and part of the same sentence. So that's good. So listen, Gandhi is a very big threat. Sorry, I'm doing it wrong again. There we go. And he will destroy us all if we are not careful. So what I'm doing is I have put all of my science into researching nuclear fission, so I can just sort of use that. I'm pretty sure that's what nuclear fission is, to threaten him back with mutually assured destruction, making sure that Gandhi doesn't get the best of us this time. Putting all of your focus into science when playing Civilization 5 is a good idea? Question mark? No one knows what that game is, I don't think. But that's okay. Good idea. What? What were you going to say, Bradley? Good Idea is a comedy podcast. Nope, that's wrong. It's not funny at all.
Correct.
Well, it is technically correct, but today is a very serious episode because we are worried about Gandhi and just sort of like what he's doing. So, but I did forget to say one thing. Good Idea is a brain trust. Your brain can trust. It's a comedy podcast where we address the issues facing our world today with creative, actionable solutions. I'm Aiden Kinsella. He's Bradley Berklich. And this
Good idea.
is Good Idea.
Oh, yeah.
So Bradley has had his tongue removed.
Wisdom tooth.
Well, enlarged.
Wisdom tooth.
The difference is less stark than you might expect.
Wisdom fluff.
He doesn't know how to talk anymore.
Wisdom teeth.
Oh, he didn't have his tongue enlarged.
Wisdom
He had his
fluff.
wisdom teeth removed. I probably should have led with that. So this is going to be kind of a weird episode. I intend to do...
take the paper out.
The paper out?
I did.
Does that hurt?
No.
Didn't they tell you not to do that?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Your voice got a lot better there,
Yeah.
Bradley.
It's because the paper came out.
The paper came out?
Yeah.
What happens when the paper comes out, Bradley?
I chew up the side of my mouth.
You did what?
I chew up the side of my mouth.
That sounds
Trying to
very
speak.
like a bad idea.
It's okay, it'll wear off.
Can you... Yeah, when you run out of blood and die.
Moving on.
Okay, so do you want to start with a prompt?
Alright. This week, a man had his penis removed. His wife is calling him dickless.
What?
It's fitting. Continuing on.
Is it like his
It is no joke.
wisdom teeth?
She's just insulting him.
I think that's Kyle. That's a good...
All
Does it
right.
say GID in front of
Yeah.
it? That's Kyle. Thank you, Kyle, so much for the prompt. Give me 1 second before we do this prompt. I do need to acknowledge something very important that happened this weekend. I was hanging with my friend Phoenix. We were out exploring a nature preserve, as one does, and it was a very good time. And I know this episode hasn't been released yet, but at some point we will release the episode on Dr. Money of And the Boy with No Penis fame. And Phoenix said something very important, which was Dr. Money and the Penis with No Boy. And that kind of, yeah, see the look on your face, I can tell you don't want to like it, but you really like it. You really like it, huh?
Hey, you wish I did. You
He
really wish I did
he
like
really
it.
likes it.
You really wish I did like it, but
I
I
do.
have to say this is a certified Brad no. If I had a stamp, I'd stamp you with it.
Could you
and it would say Brad no across your forehead.
Would it?
It would, absolutely.
That's debatable because
would've-
guess what? You made the stamp wrong, and you should have made it backwards. So, but now it just says Brad.
Darb
Newman, but
on.
backward. Yeah, it says it backwards because you didn't make the stamp right.
Darb
Idiot.
on. Or on Darb, I guess. All right, well, that's
Idiot.
fun. So how do we survive a horror movie?
How do you survive a horror movie? Drink 8 glasses of water a day. Like, because if you don't, then you'll get dehydrated and die of dehydration while you're watching the horror movie. Is that what we're talking about?
Start off.
Are we in the horror movie? Are we in the horror movie?
Don't be black. Is a good way to start.
Don't be black. Don't wear a red shirt. Don't have sex. These are all actual answers.
Never go into that door.
Never.
If there's a door,
do not open it.
Don't open it.
If there are stairs, do not use them.
Don't use them. If
there is a house, do not I guess
enter
yeah,
it?
just don't open the door, I guess.
Don't open the
door. If
door.
there's a house with an open door, do not enter the house.
No.
Essentially, can you just stand still?
If there's a haunted amulet, don't pick it up. You'll know what it looks like because it'll be haunted.
It'll say haunted on it, but it'll say it backwards. It was stamped on there, but they did the stamp wrong.
Detau.
Ein Frau.
That's haunted in German.
A woman in German.
Ein Frau.
What is that, Bradley?
I think, well, der Rose de Taube. That's a flower of some kind. I don't know. I don't speak German. I mean, you can talk to a German person, like...
Can you? Because in my experience, they're usually, like, very German.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem, though, for most people, is it? Because I mean, like, I have a couple of German friends, so I'm allowed to say this. So, it's How to Survive in a Horror House. We've established don't use doors, which is kind of limiting. Don't pick up weapons or go into a cornfield, and don't go to the abandoned lodge, and if your child starts talking to himself, kill him right then and there.
That's all good and well. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's very practical advice for if you end up in a horror movie. Now, I need to address another part of this question that we haven't talked about yet. Hollywood is really cutthroat. Everybody's replaceable these days. I mean, basically, all male actors are named Chris, right? And like the Hollywood directors can really take advantage of you because you're replaceable, because you all look the same and have the same name.
Yeah.
Which means they are able to get away with doing things to you and asking things of you that are not in your contract that you have to do. And it's honestly just like, it's really not a safe or healthy work environment to be in, because they have this power over you that comes from like everybody else is exactly like you. Yeah. So everyone's replaceable. We need to figure out how to survive being in a horror movie without losing your job. Because honestly, actors are getting replaced left and right with other Chris's. And like for women have always had a really easy time in the industry.
Yeah,
so that's
of course.
Fine. Like they've always been very well respected, and they haven't had issues. So
always.
Let's address what it's like to be a man in a horror movie.
Well, you know what my advice...
And because they're wearing masks, it's even more replaceable. Like anybody could do that.
Okay, so you know what I would advise if you're trying not to... I mean, I don't know how to survive not getting fired, but the way not to get killed is...
And like if you're... I guess, they do have to kill you if they, instead of firing you.
So if they can't
fire you,
film
it'll be a scandal.
if you take all your pants off and streak around set.
They can't do that?
They can't catch you if you...
Well,
you have to get in grease first. And you have to run around set, and they can't
that
catch you.
That reminds me of Lupercalia in ancient Rome, when they had like the naked people with the whips and the wolf masks run around, and it was like... it was
Lupercalia?
Lupercalia, not Lupercalia. No, it was like... that was their Valentine's Day. Now... I was in this...
Why does their Valentine's Day involve people with wolf masks running around covered in grease?
There's no grease. They're just naked and they have whips. Here's the thing, Bradley. I just don't understand why that was a part of their Valentine's Day. Because...
well, that's pretty much what I do on my Valentine's Day.
I don't remember, because there was context to it that I don't have, and I think it's funnier without the context.
It is. It might be. Was it like Remus and someone giving birth to people? I don't remember.
No, it might have actually had something to do with the wolf involved in that story.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I like your idea. I was thinking more of like you can't, like, if you touch someone while they're naked, that's like...
That's bad.
That's bad. You can't.
Yeah,
that's
so you just can't do it. Yeah, you just can't
do it. They could kill you.
So
that's
fine.
So
no.
Murdering you is fine. But touching you while you're naked is a big no-no.
Yeah. So the horror movie antagonists can't catch you. They can't kill you. And the best of all, the Hollywood execs, that's a no-no. So because they all abide by that social standard.
Yeah, because there aren't any people in Hollywood who are corrupt and using their power to sexually harass and exploit people.
Which is great. That's like what the best thing about Hollywood.
It's a very...
it's so...
I love
it's
Hollywood.
So pure.
It's a really pure, good place.
How do you improve the Hollywood sign?
How do you improve the Hollywood sign? Change it to Hollywood.
No, okay. You see, that's what I thought. But there's gotta be a better way.
Can you make half the letters black for more representation?
I think that sounds pretty good. On the night side, it's just Hollywood. We're going to see the Hollywood sign.
It would just be the Holly sign.
No, I think they're unevenly spaced, so they're not segregated.
Oh, that's good.
That's the
good.
important part.
That's important. Okay, so that's one improvement. Could we put truck nuts on some of them so that you can differentiate so there's multiple genders?
Sub nuts.
Truck nuts.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I guess that doesn't imply gender, but like we could just like make that representative.
What do you mean nuts?
Well, like if you have nuts, you're not necessarily a guy. If you have balls, you're not necessarily a man.
There is a gender associated with that item, that specific item.
With truck nuts?
Yeah,
it's women.
With regular
like
nuts. And I would say, although that's not, I do think you have to be male to own a pair of truck nuts.
I disagree. I think truck nuts' main demographic is women because all women like men, right?
Of course.
And so they're just like, how could you not? Because like balls are super attractive. And I think they're like, I want these because I want to look at them.
Put them on my car.
And I'll be doing a favor for all the other ladies
But they're not
there.
on the tailgate. They swing them around the rearview mirror.
That's really good.
Like dice.
Yeah, I know. Mirror dice, but it's mirror nuts.
And they're like rubber balls in there, so they make kind of fun thumping noises as they hit against the windshield whenever you break.
Slap, 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 slap.
Slump.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, I can break to that. That's amazing.
Truck nuts. Not as good as truck balls,
Are those
but
like corn
different.
nuts or different?
I had to do it again because my rap was bad. Truck nuts. Wait.
That's syncopated.
Truck nuts. Are they just like corn nuts or are they different? Truck nuts.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. Not as good as Fanta, but better than Mountain Dew. Truck nuts.
So I would never eat a product called corn nuts, but truck nuts, those I would eat.
How off key was that? I mean, I guess there's no key because I made it up.
It was a rap. I don't know.
I don't know that it was a. It was like a half rap.
Well,
it was
whatever
like,
it was.
It was some Hamilton-ass shit.
What about that stuff? So you know they've got like Rudolph the reindeer costumes for like cars as well, but I've never seen a car with both
for furries, yeah,
with both Rudolph the reindeer costumes and truck nuts on, because that would be a little off-putting, wouldn't it? You'd sort of be like, "Oh, that's great! It's Rudolph, and he's got a bright red shiny sack hanging down him. Wow, that's a little. I was not expecting that. Else? Guess Santa could see though.
A bright blue truck nuts ball sack. We have to end this conversation soon because I hate it. Rudolph the
really bad.
Rudolph the blue balls. Rudolph the blue balls truck nut.
Rudolph the blue balls pickup.
He can't get any.
He's a car. He doesn't
it's like
have
that
any.
Line, it's like that line from Cars 3. I hate pickup trucks. Or is that from Planes? Because they were talking about like a truck.
I don't have
truck
a million younger siblings, so I
haven't watched the film. I think it was Planes. I just watched a trailer for it. I think when I went to see like Inside Out or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was one of those movies that I saw. Maybe Moana. I watched that movie like 600 times.
What are these kids are smoking? The Mohoanas?
The Mohoanas?
The Mohoanas. Anyway, moving on from that statement. And from the general dilemma of
Hollywood truck nuts. Wait, we need to improve the Hollywood sign. It's important. Can we put it in Comic Sans?
That would be really good.
Half in Comic Sans, half in Papyrus for more diversity.
I think that's great.
It's symbolic of making Hollywood more diverse.
Can I suggest we every now and
That's
then
good.
we just take off a letter for no reason at all and sort of give it to someone.
So when we run, do we replace the letters?
No. Gradually they start to drift away and you're like, oh, I got the D in my place.
I want the D.
No, okay, that was not a pun. I've got the, let's switch it. I've got the O at my place.
The D has the balls on it.
I'm canceling this one. This specific one I'm canceling. Okay, maybe, how about...
One more.
Okay.
Molly weed. Because then it's 2 drugs.
I got it. Because it's 2 drugs. Ah, of course.
Do you have another one, or should we move?
We absolutely have to move, and I will have another
That
one.
was a very good one. That was a very good bit.
What else do we do? Okay.
Oh, I've got 2 people on this document.
Okay, what are they?
The creative writing document, I've got Isabella Mancini and Jacqueline Coleman on it.
Okay.
I read a 17-minute long comedy prose murder mystery that I wrote to my creative writing class today, and it was stellar.
How to make birthday cards better. And I think this one's from Keegan.
No, that's actually from
Jason?
that's from Jason on Facebook.
Jason, we have 3 people.
We have 3 people who submit us prompts, and they're all wonderful, and we love you, and we
Thank
love
you.
those of you who don't send us prompts just for listening. Thank you so much.
So Jason on Facebook. We're going to address your prompt of how to make birthday cards better.
Hey,
Because
we've had pop-ups, sound clips. This is just what I want to read the rest of it.
of course.
Even springy things that fly out when you open them. What's next?
What's next? The logical solution of what's next?
Consider this.
Yeah.
Small paper truck nuts.
We're moving away from truck nuts, I think. But the next thing in birthday card is your death, I think.
It just has your death day?
No.
Death day cards?
Oh my god. Happy birthday, 17 years.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, you have 17 years left to live.
That's the number on the front. It's like...
Oh my god, happy 17th. I'm like 47. 17 years left to live.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Happy 17.
And it like tells you
I'm
the place
spinning
and time
around.
where you die.
That's good.
So it's like piggy bank accident, the Sears Tower.
That's dark. Can we make...
It slams against the glass of the observation booth and they all drop out of the floor.
You know those cards, the birthday cards that have like anti-humor in them?
Those would initially explode upon hitting humor, I think. 'Cause the humor and anti-humor is a really good idea, actually.
Can we discuss that next?
Yeah!
What? Let's finish this prompt
Okay.
and then let's discuss humor and anti-humor and just like what that does.
Alright, so... This...
Can we...
Anti-humor in them?
Instead of having cards with anti-humor in them, can we have cards with dark humor in them? And I do not mean as in like it's just like dark, as in like...
You need a flashlight to see it? Or?
You would need, I'm saying you need a flashlight to see it.
Okay.
It's not like anti-humor, dark humor. It's because there's dark humor, anti-humor.
So it's like a dark
normal humor.
font on a darker
Yeah.
sheet of paper. Okay.
That would be good because I do think what that would do is that would make like if birthday cards were just like in different kinds of black. Like I don't know if you've seen that Parks and Rec scene where he comes up with like the five different color swabs and
Onyx, obsidian, nighttime, moonbeam, and light.
It's not moonbeam. That's not
it?
it. One of them I know. I think one of them is Nyx. I think one of them is void. Pewter is one, I believe.
That's pronounced Pwetter.
Pwetter. Yep, that's right. That's true. Yeah, no, but it's like so he has like these 5 and like
so it's
they look exactly the same and somebody comes up and he's like, which one of these is best? Definitely that one. And then someone who's watching is like, they all look the same to me. And he's like, no.
No, this one is a joke about Santa. This one's a joke about how much wine you'll get. That one's for moms only. Here's one about decreased testosterone. And why do birthday cards make old people hate themselves? What's the point of that? Because I've been in the stores.
That's what I mean by the
they're
anti-humor.
but they're all mean. Like, what's the point? Why can't it be like, you're getting older, you're wiser? But instead of it's like, your body is decaying around you, you're facing mortality.
Because it's relatable. You know?
I like how the whole world's kind of depressed and we're just not acknowledging it.
Okay. Let's talk Kierkegaard.
Let's talk Kierkegaard.
I say as I sit up excitedly. Hold on. Where's my notebook? Fuck, it's at home. I took notes on Kierkegaard every day in humanities for the last 3 days, and I can probably give you a pretty good synopsis of him. He is the, I've been referring to him as the original teen. He was the first person to use the term angst. He was really into the concept of just like existential crises, how all of life is just despair. He talked a lot about like gossip and how people like follow the pack, and like he was very, very I think emo is the word.
God, I'm sure he was fun to have at parties.
But his whole thing was like, to live is to despair, to live is to suffer. But it was kind of beautiful because it was like, he was like, it is this, but the worst kind of suffering is when you don't acknowledge that. And the more you acknowledge that you do have to suffer and that is the human experience, the more you are equipped to deal with the fact that is the human experience. And it's like super cool.
Why can't the human experience just be having a good time?
It can be. That's hedonism. It's and he actually talks about that in the aesthetic.
That sounds better than
there's 3 stages of
way
life.
Better than eternal depression.
It does sound better than that, but that is the most. See, he would argue that is the best. And I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying like this is what his philosophy is, and it's super interesting. He's like, hey, to suffer is to not know you are suffering. That is suffering. And he talks about like the 3 stages of life, which is aesthetics, ethics, and faith. Which the Tumblr users are really into that first one.
Yeah, my entire stage.
No, but what that is
aesthetics.
That's all about like immediate pleasure. Does this interest me or does it not interest me? I'm going to do it if it interests me. If it doesn't, I won't do it. There's no commitment involved with it. It's very physical. It's not meaningful at all, and you can lose yourself in it. You do not acknowledge what it is to be human because you're distracting yourself with physical things. Why did I start talking about this? What were we talking about? I want to tie
birthday cards.
Oh, right. Okay, so really dark birthday cards.
Kierkegaard birthday card. Fuck
Kierkecaards!
Kierkegaard!
Yes! We did it! We did it. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go through this a little bit more, and then we're going to discuss Kierkecaards, because I think we can move it back. So, aesthetics. Ethics is a little bit better than living the aesthetic life, because you're still not really committed to it fully. You don't have to fully commit to yourself. You can still just sort of follow the rules of society. You can just be like, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do to be a good person, and just do those things. And even in doing those things, you might be a better person, but you can still not actually experience what it is to be a good person, because you're not finding out what that means for you. You're just doing it. And then there's the ultimate stage of, I think I'm missing one, but I think it's aesthetics, ethics, and faith, or religious. It's like whatever. When you hit religious, it's like, I am doing all of these things because I'm told to, because I think it's right. Okay, well, the religious is to say, I'm doing all of these things and it's completely irrational. And he talks about how, like, I think it was Abraham was the original example of the faithful life, because he was like, God was like, do all these things and I will grant you a son. Kill your son.
Yeah.
And then his son doesn't die because he's like, I should, like, this flies in the face of everything I believe and know. But because I am faithful, and Kierkegaard talks about how this is like the ultimate self. Yeah. This is the best life you can live, because what he's done is he's fully committed himself to himself and his faith, and he's willing to ask for help. So Kierkecaards are all about how growing older is just suffering and you have to just deal with it. But what they do is not only are they like funny and relatable, they're also slowly helping you come to terms with your existence as a human being and what that means to suffer. And because it's helping you do that, you suffer less, and it does make your life better every year you get older when you receive a Kierkegaard, which is why Kierkegaards improve birthday cards. And I think it's just cool because teens can get really into him too, because and
you have to put money in it to buy it.
Because
you have to agree to put money in it.
That would be aesthetic.
We've got aesthetic,
but that's aesthetics. So that takes care of that for you, and it's like it's a progression. So you don't lose the aesthetic when you go to ethics. So you can still do this.
Yeah. So that improves birthday is like tenfold.
This is so good. This is so good. Kierkecaards.
Funny. All right.
Thanks, Bradley. I appreciate that you found that funny. I love Kierkegaard, and I wish I had my notes because I do want to talk about the other reasons he's a teen. But like his whole thing is just like very interesting,
Okay.
and it's
Does
all.
he hang out with Edgar Allan Poe? They just chill together.
I have my Halloween costume for next year.
You're gonna do Edgar Allan Poe? You were Bro Sidon, Christopher Columbus. You can't be Edgar Allan Poe.
Why not? Not oceany enough?
I don't know. Whatever. Anyway,
He's
So-
very good at broetry.
I'm done.
Get out.
I'm getting out of this one.
Oh my god.
So humor and anti-humor?
Humor and anti-humor. Oh my god. I'm stuck on Kierkegaards, and we can't talk about it anymore because it's not going to be entertaining.
No.
But just like, I'm going to be thinking about this all night now. This is my life. This is my existential crisis.
In a birthday card form.
We have a prompt about existential crises, actually.
Okay.
So, I don't know if we did that one already, but I just would like to acknowledge that at some point someone sent us a prompt that was how to have your existential crisis really early, like really fucking early, and this, I think Kierkegaard's making you aware of your own despair at a very young age.
But like, I have that constantly. Like, I'm constantly afraid that I'm going to be washed up at like 34 and be like,
Yeah.
I hate what I've done with my life, and I hate that I've not pursued my dreams. Because you always get these movies about like old women in bed who are like, I hate the most of your life. Don't do anything you don't want to do. And I'm sure every teen since like 1504 has had this same idea as me. And they're like, Daddy, I don't want to be a leather worker. I want to be a poet. And of course,
Every teen. Those were the two jobs back then.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, and now it's like, Daddy, no, I don't want to be an economic consultant. I want to be it's still poet. It's still poet.
It's
artist.
still poet?
Yes, you get the artist. And you're like, no, Daddy, I don't want to do it. I'm not sending you to Oxford to become a poet. But essentially, it's like, I don't know, like that's the eternal struggle. Is life worth living if you don't enjoy it?
Is life worth living if you don't enjoy it? I don't know, but that's the thing. Like that's what,
Yeah, that's my existential crisis.
But Kierkegaard's,
as I dive into college and try to choose the thing to live out my life with.
Kierkegaard's point is that if you act like you can just take life and enjoy the whole thing, then you will not enjoy your life and you will have an existential crisis and you will regret it. If you just try to do it, you'll make it to your deathbed and you will have suffered the truest form of suffering, which is not knowing you've ever suffered at all. And I think that that's really beautiful. So I think
Instead of saying I love you in Japanese, they say, and the flowers they grow to the 12 feet tall, and I love you to them. And I think that's just beautiful. And like you plug it into Google Translate, it's like, shit on your bed, fucker. Have you seen those?
Yes, I have. It's a good meme.
Really
we have
good.
to stop talking about Kierkegaard. I'm sure I'll bring him up again because now that I know who he is, I really like him. But I just think that that's such an interesting topic.
There's that. I mean, so essentially, the way to have your existential crisis early, and this is not funny at all, is just to be conscious of your midlife
Your own
crisis,
suffering.
of your conscious of your own suffering.
But that's good. Like, you want to be conscious of your own suffering because that's how you deal with it.
Yeah, it is, but
That's
it
how
can,
you combat
but
it.
it can also torment you. So
It's both. No, but that's...
you may be this sort of strange philosopher person, but I've got Hamlet up my sleeve, and that man was tortured for a long fucking time, and he only stopped being tortured until he accepted the embrace of death, accepted the inevitability of it.
Yeah,
the readiness is all.
Well, that's nihilism, which is not what Kierkegaard suggests. He's saying nothing matters because he's going to die, right?
Yes, but if he accepts the suffering, then there's
That's
just
not what
unending
Kierkegaard
suffering.
thinks. That's Kierkegaard doesn't... Kierkegaard thinks nihilism is better than not knowing you're suffering. But he has like this whole hierarchy.
I'm not saying there's no point to life, but you have to acknowledge death.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. You have to acknowledge death. But that's the point of what he's saying. That's this whole thing. He's like, life is suffering, and then you die. Life is suffering, then you die.
Isn't that on a mug somewhere? What is that? Life fucking sucks, and then you die. I feel
that
like
was
that's on a
Kierkegaard.
mug.
He was the first person to say that.
So
he came from a family of 6.
so
all his siblings
currently,
died.
he is on a shelf next to my Shakespeare mugs, and a picture of a man with a dragon next to him saying, "You need guts" or something.
Who? Kierkegaard?
No, like just a small man. I don't know what his name is. And then I think there's a Breakfast of Champions mug. It's cool.
I don't think we need to talk about humor and anti-humor. That's just if those two things meet, they explode.
Yeah, they explode because you've got two different personalities that don't work at all. Essentially, is what
I mean. I feel like I do both, but I'm more lean towards regular humor. I think.
Yeah, that works. So we've.
Oh, Bradley's come on the document.
Yeah.
Can I do a prompt?
Yeah. No, you can do a prompt. Absolutely.
Okay. I demand that we come back to Kierkegaard next week.
Okay. He can be a guest.
He can be a guest. I'll just pretend to be... I'll do the whole thing in my Kierkegaard character.
Please don't.
Okay. All right. My last thing on Kierkegaard for this week, though, and I'll finally shut up. Go follow Kim Kierkegaardashian on Twitter because it's really, really fucking funny.
Okay.
Now, this one's from Kyle. It's a very, very good prompt. How to read minds / people in 5 steps or less, please. I need it for research.
Okay. How to read minds.
I want to approach this more... I think this is more of a serious idea episode. It's not no jokes, but I think this is... I kind of want to approach this from just genuinely, like, how do you read people?
All right. Let's hear the 10-step process.
It's 5 steps or less, please. I need it for research.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Okay. This was taught to me... This was not actually a social work thing. This was...
Anyway, continue. Step 1.
Step 1, look where their shoulders are pointed at. If they're a man, then that at is what they're interested in at that time. And if it's a woman, then where their legs are pointing is fine. That's what will tell you what they want. If you're a man and you think a girl's hot, then you'll point your shoulders in that way. But also, if it's a guy that you like or whatever, just trying to cover my base is...
Da 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 da. How to read a chick.
It's not how to read a chick, it's how to read people. So
how to read a person.
Women puff out their chests and their butts, guys just puff out their chests.
How do you puff out your butt? I don't need to... Okay.
You just gotta like go for it, you know? You just gotta really puff it out. Like how do you twerk otherwise? Like I twerk all the time. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that noise with my Coke can. Whoops.
Alright.
Anywho. So yeah, I'm gonna stop doing that bit now. It was kind of funny, but like...
Okay.
Yeah, so guys point their shoulder... Like, and this is romantic interest. And it's, I suppose, obviously not 100% all the time.
How to read a person's mind. You know who's really good at that? How to know what people want?
Dr. Phil?
Cameron, who we've had in previous episodes, is extremely good at reading people, and he would talk to me about this where he'd be at lunch and he'd be like, I know what people want. And so several
Does
people...
he say it like that? That does not sound like Cameron.
Not like... I abridge.
Okay, because Cameron is way too nice to say it like
Cameron's
that.
like... he's like, I'm pretty good at reading people, and he does it in cool Cameron voice, but...
I'm
the
pretty
goblins
good
are here.
At reading
people.
But
But
it's not a cool. It's a quiet voice. I mean, it's a good voice, but it's quiet.
So several girls have had crushes on Senor Cam.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right?
What?
But he's sort of like.
Sorry.
You can't do that.
I can.
You can't.
I can do whatever I want.
They won't even have context for it. But essentially, like he's known like for like months, and he just like not react at all, and it's very funny and like.
Well, what's good about that is he doesn't lead them on, but he
can like get motive from people, and I'm not going to mention any specifics because I don't want to reveal people's most inner thoughts.
Now,
your innermost. Okay.
Your innermost thought.
Thought alert. Innermost thought. That's THOT.
Okay, hold on. That's good.
That's thought on the inside of every person. Mm-hmm. You know how they say on the inside of a fat person there's a skinny person waiting to get out?
No,
on the inside of every single person there's a thought.
Hey, I really do not like that saying. I've heard that before. I do not like that.
No, it sucks.
That's really yucky. Anyway, hold on. So, have I ever talked about that hoe upstairs on this podcast?
No.
God. I do not remember what the context was for this. I swear I've talked about this on here. But if I haven't, in case I haven't, I did once refer to God as that hoe upstairs. And it's one of the funnier things I've done.
If you did it, it was in the Grinnell episode because I do not
It was not in the Grinnell episode. It was not in the Grinnell episode. I may not have talked about this before. I don't remember what the context is at all. I don't remember who I was with. I was driving with someone at night, and I referred to God as that hoe upstairs. And it's one of the best things I've ever done, I think. Just in regards to, like... And I think that's sad that I think that, but I do think that. It's pretty good. Proud of it.
He's slutting up there.
That hoe upstairs. What are the angels for? I mean...
Side chicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, anyway, moving on.
Any hoops.
Calling God a side...
God's angels are side hosts.
Yeah.
That was probably extremely blasphemous, and I apologize if I offended anyone. It was just
Sorry,
a goof.
God.
Hey.
God, are you listening? It's us. Good idea.
Are you there?
We know you're one of our downloads.
It's good idea. It's good idea.
What's that from?
Shrek the Musical.
Okay, well.
So. Yeah, I only listen to show tunes. This is a very tangent-filled episode.
Where were we?
Second way to read people. First way to read people is where they point their chests and what they do with their bodies, and where they point their legs if they're female.
Okay.
I don't know if that's scientifically accurate, but it has held true every time I've tested it, so it works. Other ways.
Have you tested on me?
No, I don't think it would apply to you. I feel like you would be an exception.
I would flop.
I think it would flop. I don't think it would work.
No, I would flop.
What does that mean?
In terms of body position. It would just be pointed at the wrong angles or something.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's... No, I certainly do it completely unconsciously.
Really?
Oh. I definitely, like... If I like somebody, that's where my shoulders are. Now, if I'm not interested in anyone in the room, then my shoulders will point at whoever I'm talking to.
I heard that, actually, this is pertinent. Whoever the person in the room feels closest to is who they look at when they laugh.
It's true.
So if you want to read a room pretty good, make a funny joke.
That's good. That's number 2.
Watch.
That's actually, I forgot to. I couldn't remember what that one was or how to word it, so I wasn't going to say it. Thank you.
Okay.
That's true. So if somebody glances at you and they laugh, and like, that's really nice because I also definitely do that.
Yeah, I think I do that. Yeah.
I certainly do that, and because you're looking for approval, you're looking to see if they're doing it too. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's closest to. I think it's who you look up to the most.
Maybe, yeah.
It could be either. I don't know. It depends on the person, I guess. Mm-hmm. But that's a good one. Mimicking. Okay, step 3. We're running out of steps, huh? We won't get all of them, but we'll get some.
Ask.
That's a very good step, actually. I'm gonna
straightforwardness is a good
straightforward.
policy.
Hey, just ask. It works very, very well. I know we're talking about this from a very romantic angle, but like I have some friends who like constantly worry that everyone hates them, and
all our friends.
All of our friends. Me on occasion. But like, just ask is a really good one, especially if you're close with the person you're asking.
Get it written down.
Just
get it signed.
Hey, get a written document. That's good.
Do you hate me? No.
Thank you. I needed to know that.
Bug Kingle.
I mean, Bradley, you've done that for me before.
Yeah.
And it was helpful.
I don't know why you needed it from me, but whatever.
Hey. General anxiety?
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, I really appreciated it.
Yeah.
So, number 4. Mimicking body language. This is huge. This one's very good. It holds true. I want to do some that aren't about.
We have one last one to do. So.
We have one last one. I'll do that last one. It's just like general, like.
Yeah. Well,
I'm talking about symbols of people being interested, and I'm not not necessarily romantically. Just people who like you in any capacity, but mostly romantically, but like in any capacity. Body language. This one applies to all capacities, I believe, and they will. No, it's romantic interest. But they will mimic body language of the person they are interested in if they are interested. So, like, if you cross your arms, they will cross their arms if they're interested in you. Like, they pick up mannerisms and stuff. I mean, that's actually not necessarily romantic interest. That's just people you spend a lot of time with will pick up mannerisms from you. Physical and vocal. I'm very guilty of the vocal one.
I'll do this thing where this is not even romantic interest, but it's just whenever I'm talking to somebody with like a noticeable accent, I will automatically pick it up, and it's really annoying because I was like in Florida. I don't know.
Are you sure you're not being mean?
That's also a very possible, but usually it just happens automatically. Like usually I'm not trying to be mean, and do that sort of thing. But I was in Florida, and this is like 2 years ago, and there was this German couple there, and they were like speaking, and I was like, yes, this is very true. And they were like, excuse me? And I'm like, what is it, Brad? Bradley Berklich, I'm good now. I'm good. And like, they walked away so fucking fast.
That's good.
It was
That's
hilarious.
Okay. Number 5.
The big one.
We should have done this one first, because this is the sad one, but this is disinterest. So I'm going to just sort of put this all in one step, I guess. I mentioned crossing your arms.
Yeah, that's so someone's not engaged and doesn't.
That's not just not engaged. That's actively uncomfortable.
I do that a lot, though, when I'm not uncomfortable.
Well, okay, that's also true. You should be able to tell.
Yeah.
Based on their other body language, like this is something like even I can intuit that.
If they're not facing towards you, they don't want to talk to you.
But like I cross the hell out of my arms and put my legs super tight together. The smaller they make themselves, the more uncomfortable they are. They close themselves off. If they don't make eye contact, that's
That's the thing with women, though. If they're trying to, like, guys make themselves bigger, women make themselves smaller if they're interested.
If they're interested?
Yeah, really.
Oh, I'm not talking about interest. But this is part of step 5 then. Still.
Okay, cool.
It's not disinterest. It's just step 5. It's a very multifaceted step. I've heard that one. I don't know if I've noticed it or paid attention to it, but I can definitely confirm the crossing my arms and tightening myself up if I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
Usually if a person puts their bag over their head, they're not doing great.
Yeah, that's true. We could have done this one funny too. But this is better. This is more useful.
Welcome to useful idea.
Actually good idea. Genuinely good idea.
Genuine idea.
I believe is what we called it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, well, it was actual good idea. That was what we called it.
All right.
Actual good idea. So, what else in this?
We've hit step 5, and I think we've covered most of the major bases.
Won't make eye contact with you. Super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If they're rubbing their tummy, they probably want food. Oh God, I just said tummy unironically.
What's wrong with that?
It's yucky. That. It gives me a yucky feeling in my stomach.
Your tummy? What is wrong with it?
I just don't like it.
Okay.
It's just yucky.
Whatever. We did talk about truck nuts for like 45 minutes, so the fact you don't like saying tummy unironically is I don't know, whatever.
It's just my personal. It's a weird thing I have.
Right.
If I like tighten, if I go ew, then I probably am not. Then I probably think
if they
that's
shoot
yucky.
You with a gun,
then they do not like you.
They do not like.
Can we go over just some other like these? This won't be part of the research purposes. It's just like from our experience. They shoot you with a gun. They probably don't like you.
If they put your hand in your hair.
Your hand in your hair?
Yeah. No. Wait. Never mind. Forget this.
If they put their hand in your hair, then they probably like you. If they put their hand in your hair.
All right. The middle finger, usually not a great sign.
Not a great sign unless it's
ironic,
or if it's
I know who. Yeah.
What? Who?
What?
Huh?
What? Shia will come up to me and just flip me off.
I was not referring to a person.
Oh, what were you referring to? Firstly, you're really bad at winking. like you look like you're having a seizure while trying to blink. But
from strychnine poisoning. Sorry, that was out of line.
All right, so I mean that's been our useful idea.
That was a good app.
Yeah,
I'm proud of it. That was good.
So before we launch into the end bits, can we do 2 things? One, I want us to do the traditional best idea of the episode, which, Aiden, for you is, I believe, I can predict this one, but go ahead.
Kierkecaards?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you agree? You don't have to agree.
Kierkecaards is pretty good, but I want to pick a different one for differentiation. I think the actual idea of how to read people is pretty darn good.
That was good. That was a good talk. I enjoyed discussing that.
And then I'd like to do a new segment. Something I think can carry into other episodes, which is okay.
Who's ready to munch? Squad! That was my obligatory my brother, and me reference.
Okay, congrats.
After going to 3 of their live shows this weekend. Hey everybody, listen to podcasts. They're very good.
You have way too much fucking time.
I have no time. I'm so goddamn busy.
I will introduce this, which is our pick of the week, which is something we'd like to recommend.
I like that a lot.
Not we as a group, but we as individuals would each like to recommend.
I like this a lot.
So, Aiden, for this week...
No, you need to go first. You introduce this bit. You owe it to me to give me time to think.
All right. I do owe it to you to give you time to think. And I would never, ever stall or attempt to vamp to give myself
I was about to ask if you were vamping.
Time to think about something to do.
Something I would recommend. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm ready. Oh, God, I have so many things.
Yeah, that's why it's
Bradley,
that's why it's weekly, bud.
I know, but it's like, oh, God, Brad, I spend all my time recommending things to people and taking recommendations from people. Like, that's half of my conversations at least.
All right.
Anywho.
So hit me up.
I have been really into All Shook Up the musical these last couple weeks. It is a beautiful story told through Elvis songs that were rearranged for like choral arrangements and duets and stuff. It's incredibly entertaining. It's incredibly funny. It's just really sweet and cute, and it's also modified. It's a modern adaptation of a Shakespeare story too. So it's a Shakespeare story adapted to modern day, told through Elvis songs, and it's just, I cannot recommend it enough. It is the most like wholesome experience too, and for I don't know. I don't even know what I was gonna say. It just makes me really happy, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm smiling because I love it, and it's cute, and I actually learned to play a couple songs on piano. Like, I'd never been able to play piano before, and I spent a significant amount of time after watching that musical learning to play the piano a little bit so I could play Can't Help Falling in Love with You, because it's a super cute song and I love it. Okay, Bradley, you're up.
All right. It's Brad's turn. That's right.
He's not ready.
Fuck off. The turn you've all been waiting for. It's Brad. And my pick of the week is, of course, the obligatory 1972 Cadillac Eldorado.
Can we do a serious one?
A good car for a stable household that's not too expensive to finance and holds a mid-sized group of people to ride around in. Perfect for all your late 60s, early 70s needs.
Was that the bit that you wanted to do, Bradley, or do you just not have an answer? Did you just not have one?
All right.
I'll do another one. Skinny jeans. I recommend skinny. Okay, everybody should wear skinny jeans. They're really comfortable.
My pick is still the 1972 Cadillac Eldorado.
Skinny jeans. Bradley likes skinny jeans.
Bradley likes skinny jeans. I don't own skinny jeans. Our Twitter is @GoodIdeaCast.
That's sad.
Our Gmail is goodideapodcast@gmail.com, as is our... No, on our Tumblr is @GoodIdeaCast. You can send us prompts, suggestions, things to feature on the podcast, advertisements, or anything you want, except those pictures, which you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, well, you know.
You know.
That was Good Idea. You are beautiful. We're done here.